agenda. Let's get to it. And Thursday night footy is a beauty. The Sydney Swans are setting a cracking pace this season, and the Bulldogs gave a hint last week that they might be more than had generally been forecast as they prepare to take the high-end trial.
Playing against the top side this week, a Sydney team that, when you consider athletically and in the contest, have benchmarked the competition this year. What a great challenge for us, coming off a couple of good weeks.
We've got a belief in the way we're playing. Our challenge is to keep that form up.
Boys are looking forward to it. I know we'll go into Thursday night's game healthy and ready for the challenge.
We go about our process during the week trying to aim for improvement every week, and we've been really pleased to have that consistency.
We're looking forward to the challenge. We'll do it our way.
Our Thursday nights are precious, and this is a ripper. So let me set you up with team selections first. There's not a whole lot to tell on the teams front. Anthony Scott has come in for the Bulldogs. It's his first senior game of the season. He replaces Luke Cleary. And for the Swans, Matt Roberts was rested from the Carlton game, and he replaces Robbie Fox, who misses with the shoulder. This is a cracker of a game.
Yes, it's snuck up on us a little bit this week, hasn't it? It's Wednesday night. We really haven't got into it. The Swans, the postscript to last week's performance has just been enormous for them. And the Dogs showed on Saturday that they're back in town. They were able to go up to the Giants and knock them over in the wet. So, but this is another huge test. But we knew the huge tests were coming. They ticked off Richmond. They ticked off the Giants. If they can tick this one off, talk about reshaping the season for the Swans a little bit and for the Dogs. But really interesting how the Swans, they used Rowbotham and James Jordan last week to go to the two playmakers, Cripps and Walsh. Do you stick with that sort of game style? So, right, do we go to Bontempelli, or do you go to the new one? They could go to Treloar, who's getting heaps of the ball. And Francis is the one who's gone into the... Ed Richards is the one who's gone into the middle and getting a lot of pill at the moment. Does John Longmire say, righto, let's cut off the run of Richards and go after the king in Bontempelli. So that tactics will be really interesting.
The headache on the other side of things for the Bulldogs is what to do about Heaney and what to do about Warner. And you've got Goulden, who's marauding up and down the wings as well.
Good word, marauding.
He's on the build-up to... He wants to play 100% game time.
Yeah.
It's been a little project of his. So he's down to one rotation. He's up into the 90% of game time. So they do have weapons everywhere. I
don't think the Dogs use a shutdown. Can you, off the top of my head right now, I don't think they do. They're more a system v system, and they've lost a couple of games playing system v system. But I don't think Beveridge employs a run-with player whatsoever. Maybe everything evolves in football, Jared. Maybe what the Dogs were doing 4 weeks ago, the Dogs can't be doing 4 weeks later. Maybe he's got to wake up and say, you know what, we might have to do something about Isaac Heaney and Chad Warner. So that'll be really interesting to see how the Dogs handle it.
Sydney's defence, which is a little bit undermanned at the moment. They got through the test of Carlton with Charlie and Harry and De Koning down there. So Norton's in great form, playing higher up, Jamara in the square. So that's sort of an interesting portion of the ground. And then at the other end is Sydney's fort. There are signs in McDonald at the moment. There are just signs that he's growing into that player.
Yeah, he is. He is. Signs. I think he's been a good player all year.
Yep.
I don't know if he's made the jump yet to the exceptional group of key forwards. So, but he's tracking pretty well. At one stage, Jared, like all these young players, at one stage, Tommy Hawkins, we're just talking about Tommy there, you grab a game and you kick your 5 and you kick your 6 and say, right, wow, that's what that young man can do. Maybe it's coming soon for Logan McDonald.
It's a ripper of a matchup. The Swans are also in the news because when we departed last night, Luke Parker had just been handed a 6-match suspension. It landed heavily. The Swans believe that it's manifestly excessive. They are going to take it to appeal. This was veteran teammate Dane Rampy today.
Media reaction is I'm feeling for a mate who's missing some more footy. Was doing it tough, respectful of obviously the Frankston player that was obviously injured, but you know, on a personal level, I'm just feeling for a mate at the moment who's had a tough start to the year. He's flat, you know, but like I said, he's been unbelievably stoic in all of this, and he knows that you know, again, his time will come. We're all confident of that. We're all excited to have him back in the team when he does get back in. It's obviously going to be a bit later than what we'd hoped, but yeah, the story hasn't ended, if that's what you're asking.
So on it will go to appeal, which is not surprising. They have to fly their flag for the veteran because his scenarios get really difficult. He's not back till July, so I can imagine the desire to shave a week or two off, but just being unhappy about it, that doesn't quite clear the legal principles.
No, it doesn't, but their argument it was manifestly over the top. I feel so sorry for... It's Josh Smith, isn't it? I feel so sorry for what happened to Josh Smith. And I just think, oh, God, if he had his time again, could he saw him coming? Could he braced? And did he go past the ball? Yes, he did all that. There's no way known he went to rearrange his face. They are the consequences of that action. I thought they argued strongly that he sort of stopped and propped. He leant into him, hit him at the back of the head. It wasn't an elbow, it wasn't a forearm, it wasn't a shoulder. He had turned. So I think they've got grounds. I'm not a lawyer, but I think my gut says 6 is too much, Jared. And that might not be enough to say, oh, let him off, because we all feel it's a bit excessive. Do you think they got something to lean on?
I think it'll be hard to meet the high legal bar that's set around these appeals now. It's not unreasonable to impose 6. It's just really harsh. But harsh is that's not the threshold they have to meet. All right, dream time at the G-Shapes is the highlight of Cert Day.